first I'm going to take you through things like what the station looks like, some new items and stuff we've got, and then we are going to do a little presentation just about some of the changes that are coming more to the RP side of PD as well. So we're all good.
Yo,
It's our new PD station. Max over there.
We are streaming PD meeting today for 2.0.
Now, a couple of things to note.
So, look very closely.
In from this side, and we've also got a couple of other nice bits as well. So we have a public MDT. Public MDT is there so civilians can see charges, can see legislation, and that's open and viewable as well. We'll look at that when we go through the changes to the MDT. And you can also make police reports as well. So we can put police reports in. No needing to wait around for officers, anything like that. Presumably just for them on themselves. Well, yeah. So just for context on that one.
Sorry.
Basically, they can look at charges as a whole. So what charges we've got in the system. So what we can charge people with, which have all got explanations as well as the fine amounts and things, which we'll go through. But you've got title. You can put a report in, and actually this goes into the PD as well, which is nice. You don't have to wait around for officers. No, it's not like that, Neb. You're not looking at people's records. You're looking at the charge sheet in terms of all charges across the server, right? So you come in, you get yourself on duty, Rich. We are on duty. We've got the armory on the right. And we've also got a locker room. Now we've got work outfits. And these are all job specific. So again, we've got BCSO and both LSPD as well. So LSPD, both long and short sleeve, BCSO as well. So I'll just give you an idea of BCSO outfit. Pretty clean, pretty tidy, and that's for police in training. So any trainees, officers get a different vest, and various ranks also get different levels as well. In terms of divisions, we'll talk about divisions and things shortly.
Yes, this is a new PD.
So going through into the armory, things in the armory as an example. This is our armory. Some key items are things that you've seen in the gameplay overview. Things like a VIN checker.
Oh, a radar gun.
We've got a radar gun there and things as well, which we'll show.
Fingerprint scanner.
Police MDT is now actually an item, so that's quite an important change. Something that's coming that is
police
pretty much a huge difference, right?
That's pretty good. I like that. Yeah, I like it. I like this.
No, so if they steal an MDT, it's not that they can see things, because all the MDT system itself has got a permission-based system, right? But they could take it off you so that then you can't use it. A couple of things down here. So we obviously got cells, all the new cells. Very nice. So, going through then, we do have evidence lockers and things like that. We've got the garage. Now, there is a big important change to the garage, just for all those officers that can't drive. So, the big change coming to the garage, as a note, is whatever we've got in terms of vehicles are in the garage. So if I go and pull out, say that, we can see that it's actually already been left out. So any vehicle that is currently in use, you cannot use. which does mean from a PD side of things that we've got to buy every single vehicle. So if we want stainers, we'd need, say, 10 stainers. We'd have to buy 10 stainers. Another important change to that is with all these, you can actually see fuel, engine, body, and what we can do is we can actually rename things as well.
You can rename.
We're going to walk for first. Wait, no, we will have some cars. We will have some. Going out. So PD vehicles. These are some examples. These aren't what we're going to start with. We're going to have a lot worse vehicles to start. I'm just telling you. So right. if you want better vehicles in PD, we're going to have to make sure that we're finding, and we're finding people properly as well, because DOJ is going to be a thing in 2.0. And if you do it wrong, we're going to lose money. So just some examples, things like the new Hellfire, new Stainer and things. Oh, someone pulled a gun out. So just as a call, we've got the new dispatch system as well. Now, with that, we can obviously see where that was, which are here. We can see the calls. We can see how many units are going as well. I can attach to a call. Yeah, locals are snitches.
Damn.
Locals are gonna be the biggest snitches known to man. Now, in terms of vehicles, talk through a couple of things. In terms of vehicles, we have new customization. So things from cosmetics, as you've seen again in the gameplay overview, looking at the mechanics.
Let's see if I can message.
We've got that. And there's a whole lot we can do. And these cars are insanely configurable as well. So everything from, you know, different light bars. We can choose all the different light bars. Even old school ones if we wanted. Again, it just gives us more customizability and means that we can have a really unique fleet. Now, one of the big change, obviously, you've seen the hood and things. However, what you'll see down in the bottom right is a new radar system as well. So we've got a new radar system. Complete radar. However, with the radar, again, it's a little more in depth. So you either have a front-facing radar, a rear-facing radar, and you can change all that on the fly. However, if there's a car behind you and you've got a front-facing radar, then you're not going to clock its plate. So it's always important to make sure your car is positioned right. So that's going to be a big change. Now, Mac's going to be our lovely assistant.
Hello. Okay.
So with that, we can escort. While we've got hold, we can also let go of her as well, nice and simply. Place her in a vehicle. Take her out. Just all the standard stuff, right? Fail RP wasn't close enough to PD. Cardo realistic. So best thing with the new way of escorting as well is that we can lock doors and stuff while we've got hold of people. Now, We also have other items, things like our fingerprint scanner. So we can actually check fingerprints. No, you don't have to go backwards while in first person, Mark. This PD is far nicer. 2.0 is peak, 100%. So with that, obviously we do have a new MDT system as well. New MDTs in. We can put announcements in. We actually have a chat as well. So anything important, if you're going 10-7 or anything like that, and you don't want to call into dispatch, then you can do so. Bolos and warrants in here as well. We have a full list of vehicles, profiles. So we'll go. Sometimes we're like Cook as an example. We've got things like her blood type, her fingerprints, phone number,
Sorry, chat.
Any warrants.
That was loud. I know.
One of the biggest
Kelly,
changes
how we doing? How we doing?
Is the MDT can now have tabs.
Let me answer this
So
real quick.
we can do
chat.
that. We can swap to another tab. And yeah, so training reports for recruits are also done in here. You can see one here, right? So here's one we did earlier, and you get a full breakdown. You can mark them on shooting, general knowledge, radio usage, professionalism, driving, and we got all the incidents and stuff as well, right? Nice and simple. And like I say, you can have tabs, so we can swap between, which is very nice, very different.
Yeah, sorry about that, chat. I know that was loud in your ear.
Matt crashed because she's in Texas. Incidents. So these are our reports. Again,
Texas?
we can tag criminals. Now, one thing for all you guys that really struggle with maths, because apparently maths is hard, you will be able to use the sliders for giving reductions. Now, reductions will only allow you an amount of reduction based on what we set in the charges. So in our charges, you can see we're all set as 0 right now as the same number, but we'll have a lower and upper limit based on what DOJ and government say as we get into 2.0, and that will start defining our reduction system, and we'll do that for everything from sentences to fines and things. Legislation can also be in here, so when DOJ is running, they can build out legislation and it'll give us information, things like definitions, what the penalty is, and what the exceptions are, etc. So this will help DOJ because people like Rodney, example as a lawyer, will be able to come in and see exactly how we charge and what we charge on, and he'll be able to argue to say, okay, well, this condition wasn't met, so how can you charge? So DOJ is going to be very important, and making sure you've got the right charges is going to be very important. And things like employees, everything else gets managed in here. We can tag cases as well. So if I go back into an incident, go into this one, we can actually add tags. So we can say that Mr. Larry Miller there is a high value warrant, which we could have done. And then it tags a report, which is nice because then we can actually filter on tags as well. If we want to, we can filter on officers, criminals, civilians, and we can manage all that. So again, Timmy, in terms of, I guess in terms of doing, if they plead guilty, that'll be up to DOJ. We'll sit down with DOJ and work that out. We've got a full permission system as well, so we can manage all the permissions of every section, which is nice. We get the full dispatch. Now, something that we'll discuss is how dispatch is going to work. So that's that side of it. What we'll do as well. So I'm just gonna do this just while I move locations because we still want to keep a lot of things secret for 2.0 as a note. And French is here and he'll kill me. So we're just gonna stop that.
Oh.
Just while I find a location. Oh no. Okay, we're just going to load back in. While we do that, actually, has anyone got any questions of what we've seen so far from, I guess, the PD side of things?
I don't have permission, chat. I can't type in.
Yeah, so Neb, we would be able to see them. That's definitely part of it.
I guess we'll go into his stream.
Load in as well. Can we do foot patrols if cars are out? Now, Harvey, that is a good question. What I'd recommend is buddying up with people if all the cars are out. The likelihood is we won't have all the cars out. You know, we're gonna start with a fairly decent amount. I know a lot of people probably want to jump on PD kind of straight away, right? But I reckon we'll have enough to at least cope with it. But if all cars are out, I'd recommend just calling over radio and joining someone. Trainees can't chat as well. Okay, one sec. Let me give the permission for the trainees. Let me give There you go. Trainees can chat now.
I still don't have permission.
Interesting question, Hachi. Now, we'll actually talk through how this works as well in terms of the PD fund, and we'll talk about that as well, because PD fund is also something that is very different. Now let me clock on, and then I'll show you guys something else as well. So, yeah, we've got a communal garage,
Justin,
basically.
how
That's
you
how it's
doing,
working.
brother?
This is going to be rude of me, but I'm going to need you to kill yourself. Now, as we've seen, as we've seen, we can obviously carry people, put them in vehicles as needed, or while Mac is still down, if it's safe to do so, we can actually try and revive her if we've got one of the items for it. So we can drag her out of harm's way. We can get her up as well. Oh, she's nearly up. There you go, we got back up. So that's a pretty cool thing. Now that is an item, and you'll need to make sure you go that item.
Yep.
So, other items as well. Obviously, we've got the new radar in cars. However, we also have handheld radar. So we now have a handheld radar as well. So we can actually clock cars and the speeding, and we can lock it as well. So now we've got a lock, we've got the plate and the speed. And you can see it on the item as well. So we can do a little bit more when it comes to speeding and things like that.
Yeah, me too. It does look good.
Which is nice. Bandages, cuffs, UV flashlights.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, dang. Something I can't do right now.
So that's one side. I would reload, but it's okay. Part of the reason is something else we've got as well, and you'll see more about this. What you'll see more about this as well is
Let's watch a Mac stream.
for those that like a bit more forensic evidence, because again, we're gonna need a lot when it comes to DOJ, and DOJ will be mentioned more in the Civ meet. However, we can analyze evidence and things as well, so we get evidence lockers. We can create evidence lockers here, and we can pull evidence out as well. So I think I've got some in evidence. This is going to be for everyone, because we need everyone to understand this. We've got evidence boxes in evidence. So if you've got an evidence box, you carry it, and we can actually go and open it as well. You can see all the evidence in it. So I'll pull the evidence out. Bullet casements, blood samples, impact elements. Now, this is one side. Evidence is not rank locked. However, everything is logged. So we do get full logs of anyone going in and out of evidence.
2.0, 1 day to go.
So
we're doing a police meeting right now.
I'm gonna get rid of this box. I don't want it. We're gonna analyze. So we're gonna store all these items. And we're gonna inspect. And we can get it to reconstruct a scene as well. So the bullet casings I've added, the bullet hole and the blood sample, gives you a nice kind of 3D view of it. We can do a reconstruction, and we get a nice breakdown, things like DNA.
That is cool.
Which we can take as well as everything else. So this is all very clean, very tidy. And then because you've got so much evidence, and I know the detectives hated this, we've got the evidence boxes. So evidence boxes can only store evidence. So we can do that. We can put all, and we can select. But if I try and put anything else in, just let you know that you can't store it. And we can put it back in evidence as well. Just get rid of that. If we do have evidence, we've got it there. And we can see the evidence number as well as the date. And all that evidence actually comes in. So we've got all the bullet casings and things. And this is where it shows you the DNA, the weapon. So again, you can link evidence and actual evidence to reports, which is really nice. Yeah, the whole point of this is to make RP more immersive for PD. So that's that side of it. Now, I think we're kind of done on that side. So I'm not going to show you any more of 2.0. What we're going to do swap over. So now we're going to go to
the top secret information.
So 2.0. 2.0 has got a lot of big changes. Yeah, we are starting a meeting 30 minutes in, but we wanted to show you 2.0. Ranks. We're doing away with our current call signs. So no 1 Alpha 01, no 1 Mike 01. It's all going to be numbers. Now this helps with vehicles because vehicles can also have call signs and stuff assigned to them, which just helps. You know, Air 1's flying above, sees that 441 is driving a car. It's great. Department in 2.0. So we are focusing more on roleplay, and various behaviors and actions are going to result in IA or even staff action in some cases. AI does go crazy. Shooting officers, civilians with no probable cause, tasing officers, civilians, which everyone does in a garage, right? We've all done it. Tackling officers, civilians, cuffing officers, civilians, searching officers, civilians, or tasing tires. Tasing tires is there just because that's always been a problem for admin as well. So it will get you in admin trouble if you keep doing that. Yeah, no, but we're gonna say no fun. Probable cause. We're gonna base everything on probable cause. So officers must be able to explain specific facts that led to their belief, not just something that seemed off. One of the biggest problems we've got at the end of 1.8 now is that so many people believe that officers are just making a lot of assumptions. We're gonna make sure we bring that back to actual hard facts and evidence. And actually, case law is a big part of this as well. So I'm going to expect every officer to understand basic case law. We'll give guides and things within the Discord so everyone understands. But just like any other RPs, that this is going to be something that needs to be done. Focus on RP. So RP is far more important. The RP is really where we need to focus. Of course, we want you to catch people. At the end of the day, your job as an officer in game is to catch people. But we don't want you just to, we don't want to let people go that have got felonies. But things like misdemeanors, infractions, have a little fun with it. You know, someone's got a charge, have a bit of a laugh with it. You know, if it's a misdemeanor, right? This doesn't mean be corrupt or stupid things. It means let them play out a little before a fine or arrest. You have a job to do, but it shouldn't limit everyone else's RP. That focus on RP doesn't mean you ignore your duties. but it means that you give every scene a fair shot, whether you're dealing with French or elite who does the same thing 7 million times in a row, or a normal civilian who has just come into the city and is brand new. Everyone gets a fair shot and everyone gets the same treatment. That is what we are focusing on. Elite is annoying, and that's a whole other issue. But multiple evasions, likely cop baiting, one in a chase, give them one, but don't be scared after that 3 attempts of evasion, you spot them on. You know, you call units and box them in, right? A lot of crims at the moment will cry because PD have boxed them in after multiple chases. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what you need to do. Don't do it for the first time. After a couple of times, perfectly fine. Attempted murder of an area, again, give them scenes a fair shot. Don't risk your life. You know, value of life is still very much a thing. But plan an arrest. Make sure that you get officers prepped to take down a suspect as well. Don't just run into a scene and try and arrest someone that we always see quite often at the end of 1.8. Work with other officers and plan about how you're gonna arrest a suspect. If they're stood in Legion, they're, you know, call other officers, get plans about, okay, where they're gonna run, how are you gonna deal with them. Things like speeding, red light offences. One of the biggest gripes of 1.8 at the moment is everyone ignores traffic rules. At the end of the day, it's an RP server, so things like speeding and red light offences, don't ignore them. But, you know, maybe let them off if they've got a fun reason why, right? Now, what I also mean by that is there's a big change coming to the PD fund. So we'll talk about that. Things like Grand Theft Auto, again, don't let them off with it. It is a crime, needs to be dealt with. But unless it's a serious criminal that's, you know, been actively killing cops or civilians, we have proof of that as well. Don't be trying to end scenes instantly. We do not want people just ending scenes. Things like arguing in cells. Fine. It's part of the RP. However, some of the worst scenes I've seen in PD over the last kind of couple of months are where we've had... I'm going to bring Elite as an example. Elite stood in cells for 60 minutes for a jail time of 10, or in his case, 1 minute. And he argued for 60 minutes and wasted every officer's time as well as DOJ's and everything else. And other people do that as well. So, again, if you have a right to a lawyer, give them that right. Make sure that, you know, they come and have a discussion, but make sure that discussion flows. If it starts going round in circles, where everyone's saying the same thing, then we need to end. Oh, we maxed out, that's wild. Now, give them a chance to plead a case. One big change coming is no one gets reductions unless they've got a lawyer. If they don't bring a lawyer, they get no reductions. This is to involve DOJ more, and this is to make sure that DOJ has work to do. And guess what? Every criminal in the city is going to want DOJ to turn up and have a lawyer, right? A lawyer must come in and talk with the client, outline what they want for reductions, and then they can plead a case fairly. Now we talk about police cars. So you've seen some of the police cars. Those aren't the ones we're starting with. We're going to have some pretty bad police cars to start with. However, with this new update, we've got over 40 police vehicles from
Ronnie's going to be the first million in Redline.
You know, cars, SUVs, sedans. We've got it all. We've got helicopters. We've got multiple helicopters we could buy. All these things are important, but we must buy each and every single one of those. This will change for some of the divisions and stuff as we talk about divisions. And again, you know, as we kind of went through, right, we'll have some basic vehicles. And one of the big things, obviously, everyone's going to want new cars for PD. If you start finding people incorrectly and DOJ come and deal with it, we're going to end up losing money and not being able to afford vehicles. As we talked about,
That's
the
crazy
MDTs
to me,
is an
chat.
example of things like the
It's
chat,
like PD
the
has to buy their
announcements,
own
and
vehicles,
an active
which I
warrant
think
at
is
the time.
good, but
Warrants expire within a
I don't-
period as well. So if someone can evade you long enough, then their warrant will disappear.
warrant expire? That's crazy.
You know, we've got so many warrants at the moment in 1.8 that could be months and months old. More of it's in game. Evidence, incidents, business reports. We can actually do reports on businesses and manage issues that we have in businesses. Properties, vehicles, all that. Everything is now in game. I mean, Mark will have to deal with it at some point, and if you know, it's going to be one of those things. If they fly out when they have a warrant, you know, that's on them, right? Like, yeah, they just wouldn't get involved in a lot across the city. And again, more will be talked about for Civ Meet about RP standards and things, which I know French and stuff will go through. So I'm not going to touch on it from here. IA management. Now, IA is now in game as well. You can assign strikes to people. We can see what their strikes were for, so we can see level of force. So that's in game as well. Fines. Now, this is the important bit. Fines for new cars, new equipment, properties are all going to be subject to approval by the president, because all the funds that PD get now go direct to the government. If we want anything, we're going to have to make sure that we go talk to the president, or well, to the mayor. I guess the mayor is what's been confirmed now, and we will deal with it that way. We do get a full breakdown, so we know exactly what we've paid to government. We do have our own bank, but we don't get paid into it. Running radar, we've seen running radar. And we've seen the new radar as well. In terms of running radar as an officer, of course you can do this. You know, this is something we want everyone to be able to do. However, we are actually going back to dispatch. So dispatch will be managing your time. If you want to run radar, you've got to ask dispatch, and dispatch will let you and give you a time frame of how long you can run it for. You know, a couple of minutes, that kind of thing, and then you've got to move on and continue your patrol. Now, this is where it gets very different. Body cam's now a requirement for all ranks. Every rank, commissioner, trainee, whiskey, everyone's going to be wearing body cam. While you're on duty, you must record. If you can't record, then unfortunately you cannot be an officer, is the blunt answer to that. What we're saying is a minimum of 480p. You can store the recording locally. It has to be stored for 7 days. DOJ will get 7 days to be able to essentially work through a case and request body cam footage. If they don't do that, then you can delete it. A body cam will always be part of your uniform. Even things like, you know, detectives and things will make sure that they will end up with body cams. Now, you don't have to just record it and store it locally. You could do a private stream, those kind of things. Yes, Mark. It is an item that pops up top right. You'll see body cam. Failure to do so will result in removal of PD. This is ultimately the crux of it. We are moving forward, and the focus on 2.0 is going to be more RP, and that means that you need body cam. So Activity over here has been very relaxed. Activity checks are going to return. If you're inactive or deemed so by not meeting the minimum hours, that will vary month to month, depending on server popularity, as it always has done, then demotion and removals from PD will happen. This is 100% how we need to go. No, Fox, it has to be a body cam item. Activity across the board creates inactive ranks with no chain of command. So this is the big announcement, which is every rank from senior to senior officer to captain will now be a deputy. So we do have a rank reset. Upper command will be on the lookout for those that continue to be active, do their job, and will be given more responsibilities. Ranks have been seen as something you work towards. However, once they are there, there's nothing else to strive for. Ranking will be far more dynamic for 2.0, allowing for demotions, promotions, and activity to shine. So that's where we're at. Divisions. 2.0 is a full reset, which means as of launch date, we will have 2 divisions and 2 divisions only, which is LSPD and BCSO. State, Detective, ASU, MU, SWAT, GIU, K9 may return in a phased approach. And all these things may return. So that's the big announcement, guys. That's where we're at. I know a lot of people are going to be upset with it. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are worried.
Easy.
However, we have so many people that are inactive across the whole of PD. This is the best way to deal with it. And divisions need such a huge rework to work right for 2.0. Rather than going into 2.0 with those divisions, we're essentially just disbanding them. FTO obviously stays because we need to train people. Actually, on training. So, one thing that is going to change is the interview process for being an officer, the applications themselves. Applications are in-game. You walk up and you put your application in. Command will review the application, and then you will be invited for an interview in-game. You come down for an interview. We make a decision whether you're fit to be an officer or not. And then we deal with it that way. So yeah, let's go through questions, right? November trainees. So trainees will have some retraining. I mean, all officers are going to have some retraining because we've also got a lot of new features and a new way of working, and everyone's got to really make sure they're on their top form. Can you become a Yankee? Unfortunately not. We'll be doing multiple sessions, Tony. So we'll do them ASAP. Deputies will stay deputies. Everyone becomes a deputy, essentially. Yeah, I mean, just to give you an idea, Tony, I will be there from launch on PD and doing trainings. So what else we got? Any questions? Yeah, unfortunately, Tricks, we've got to have an hour requirement, especially for the higher ranks. We're not too worried about Deputy, as an example. But going up for ranks, then you've got to make sure that you are active, because Command has got to be active. A lot more's in-game. If you're not active, then tough. You know, you can't be those ranks. Yeah, LOAs, you know, look, we understand people have got lives outside of a game, Flint, so if you're on LOA,
Hey, Abdul, thank you
LOAs
for
are
the
still
sub,
LOAs.
brother. Appreciate it.
And yeah, Tigo sort me out. Same number of ranks, Neb, so same ranks we got now, essentially. That's fine. This has to happen for the good of the server and the good of the health of PD as well, because PD has not been very good in a long time for a lot of reasons, and that goes both ways. You know, criminal side of things, criminals haven't been the best when dealing with certain situations. However, we are doing a reset to make sure that it's fair for everyone, because there's so many people in ranks now that just aren't that interested in Redline anymore, aren't that interested in playing the game, and we need people that will be active. So you may go up to lieutenant, but if you're also inactive after that point, you also get removed just as quick. Yeah, we've got stations and things. Obviously, you'll see more of that. I'm not going to go through showing you all the stations and stuff. No, you're not going to be assigned BCS or LSPD. You can patrol either one. Obviously, liveries and uniforms must match the area you're patrolling. We don't want to see BCSO units in the city and LSPD units up in Sandy or Oxwood. And this is it. You know, it is going to be hard for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that worked hard to get into positions, but we need an active PD force, because the more that is in game, the more active those officers have got to be. Obviously, things like whiskies will stay the same. You know, whiskies are outside of that anyway, and also deputies. So we don't treat them any different anyway. Okay, RTDT. What needs to be recorded exactly? Your entire duty. While you are on duty, you need to record it. If it gets pulled in and there's any part missing, then you're going to be questioned on why there's parts missing. If a DOJ requires something, like some body cam footage, and you don't have it, then we will question that, and DOJ will probably push for a corruption charge on that officer.
Can't ask any questions because I don't have access. No.
And we may do checks as well. Yes, so Mark, streams will work if you are streaming, then you don't have to record that session. If you're on duty at any point and you're not streaming, you've got to record.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you can look. You can clip things. That's not a problem. Harvey, those things happen. Like if you run out of storage, just let someone know. What I will say about body cams, before we get arguments about it later down the line, whatever you see on your screen whatever time anything happens can be used in that body cam footage. If you've got your phone out and you're using your phone, if you turn around and your camera's looking behind you, that will also count. Whatever you see on screen will be used as footage. People will not be able to argue that the body cam wasn't facing them. People will not be able to argue that the body cam didn't catch their phone. They'll not be able to argue that it didn't see things like the radar or anything like that.
There you go.
Yes, you will have the item that says monitor in the top corner, yeah. Uniforms do have body cams on them.
Be interesting, chat.
IA members will be removed as well. Flint. Other applications are speaking and we don't really care. We're on about in-game, right? So applications are actually in front of MRPD. Let me show you. Let me show you. So I think Tigo, it's gonna be more than a week. Like we've got Christmas and stuff coming up. There's no way that we're gonna know if people are active. We need to make sure that people are active as well. So this doesn't feel like you can just come in for the first couple of days and pretend like you're active and then go get a rank right.
We are doing a police meeting for Redline 2.0.
So your
everything you
application
see right
here,
now
you
is
fill that out.
Redline 2.0.
And then we actually we will get the application within the business, and we can see when people have filled it out. We get player identifiers. We're going to ask for their email as well, and they get an email from PD. But yeah, as Tigo said, it's not going to exactly be a week, but we're going to be looking to move people up quickly. But we also do have concerns if you're just going to be active. Oh, yeah, I can show you email. So we go for phones. Actually didn't fill one out, but I will post the. Let me post the. Put it in Notepad.
This meeting is in Discord, yes.
I will say as well, we get a full kind of HR audit log. We get a full evidence audit log. So
PD
if you
members.
are taking things out of evidence, we're going to know about it. And you will be questioned on it. So the email that people will get is going to be pretty simple.
This is actually pretty cool to have our own email.
This is currently sat in a box, but basically, if you are successful in PD with your application, we will send you an email, and your email will be very much like this, right? So I'll let you know, dear applicant, you'll get this, and it'll tell you when we're going to be doing interviews, and it'll ask you to confirm attendance and things as well, which is nice. And then, like I said, we've got the MDT here, so as an officer, I can view that. However, if I change, say, can still view this, but it's locked down, so I can see charges, what charges people are going to get. I can see legislation and things as well, so it keeps everyone informed. It's all about making it fairer for everyone that's there, right? Fox's got an important long question. When it comes to body cam footage, if pulled in by DOJ, it'll be permissible to edit it to only the relevant footage, or do they get to see the whole raw in edit? I mean, it's got to be in-game footage, Fox. Whether you're having a conversation outside of that, doesn't really matter.
It was today.
Obviously, that may be something raised to staff if you're having a conversation in a VC about something and people are using that information and it can be heard.
Can you not see the?
Wouldn't be used as part of
your stream?
Any evidence, right? Yeah, you'd have to record your own voice.
Record your own voice.
Yeah, you can record. Yeah, I mean, you can set it. It depends how you set up, Neb. Wait. Teagle's gooning in the background. No, that wouldn't be used against you, Fox. It'd be like an inner dialogue, right? If you're not seen to be talking in game. So I mean, if I you'll see the icon. So we can see when you're talking. If you haven't got an open mic in game at that point, then it'll be like an inner monologue, right? It can't be used.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Dan, unfortunately, you do need a better PC to be a police officer than maybe a civilian. But also across the board, Redline is moving, and you'll know more about that from a civ meeting. You've already seen it from the gameplay overview. There is so much going into 2.0 that you know, older PCs we just can't support. Duty logs from Hatchy. Duty logs initially will be a thing. However, we do also track it as part of our we do, you know, track time as well. So we see employee activity, we see total duty time and things like that. We won't move to this initially at the start of 2.0. We want to see how it works across the board for everyone. If it will cover duty logs, then we will do duty logs, right? We'll get away with duty logs. So, yeah, it's a change, and honestly, we knew that a lot of people would be upset with some of the changes, things like removal of divisions, resetting ranks, requiring people to record. But at the end of the day, we've got to move forward as a server, and it's all for the good of the server, right? You know, having those recordings is going to mean better DOJ interactability. You know, they're going to be able to request body cam footage, and we're not going to require you to go send them it, but if you need to go sit in a VC in PD and share your screen to let them view it, things like that can be done as well.
2.0 is going to be
Yes,
very
Pigo makes a
interesting,
very,
chat.
very valid point. We get a functional DOJ without all the slash me's. But there's so many instances where we get PG around slash me's, and it's so hard to prove that an officer said, hey, my body cam didn't capture this, or my body cam, you know, slash me doesn't remember the conversation. You know, those kind of things are all gone. And also when people lie about their slash me's of, hey, yeah, no, I wasn't the officer on scene. Body cam shows that I was at MRPD when you weren't. None of that is the case anymore because we will be able to see footage. Division leads and people all wiped, Joey. All divisions are wiped, which means all the leads are wiped. When those divisions come back, if they come back, or a new version of those divisions come back, based on all the new items we've got and all the new scripts and everything else we've got, then we will be looking at people for those positions at that point. I think that's final questions. So I think coming from the YouTube chat as well, Dobby asked the whole idea of recordings fails and you don't know until it was asked for. Look, we see proof of that, right? You know, if you try and open a recording and it's corrupt, fine. These things happen. If we see the same officer have corrupt recordings often, then again they may be asked to leave the PD. So, you know, if people just wanna try and corrupt footage if they've done something wrong, we'll know about it. And as French said, you have to keep all footage for 7 days. The reason for that is because DOJ will have 7 days to request that footage. If they request it after that, then tough. And yes, in terms of rankings, it's Chief of Police and Commissioner stay the same. Captain and below are all reset to Deputy. Yeah, we'll have a guide on it, Fox. Don't worry. We won't be supplying SSDs to people. If you need to record in 480p or 720, as long as we can hear the audio from game, we can hear your mic audio, and we can roughly see what's going on, we're not that fussed. Jails and fines is actually an important one. So, as we said with jails and fines, as we said with jails and fines, if we go into charges, these are your fines. Now, if we put a lower limit on these, that will allow you to give the reductions where needed. At the moment, they don't have them in. We can search charges, and all these are in sections as well. When we send someone away, the whole prison system's changed as well. I'd rather let people find out what's changed with the prison system than explain it. From a PD side, just to let you know that we do have low security, medium security, high security in terms of you know, max sec, right? Depending on severity of time, we would be putting people into certain blocks within the prison. Yeah, so to fine and jail someone, as an example, any incidents, we go in. You've got your criminal here. Now we've got some options. So we can handle charges. This is how we add a charge. So we can add a charge if we want to, which comes up at the top. We can remove it where needed. And you see all those there, and we see what the fine is. When we're happy with it, we process it, we plead guilty, and down here we've got send fine, which we can't because the player's not online, and then we got jail. I mean, to give you an idea, right? So let me... No, Mr. Test just turned up. Let me, for example, give him a charge.
The hell was that?
We sent him a fine. So, 3,300.
How did I just hear?
Okay.
You can show the tablet that shows the fucking PD thing if you want because they're being stupid. It shows that you find me.
Yeah, so to see that fine, actually, we can actually see it. So we can see that I've just fined test 3,300 at this time. This will also show us if anyone's duplicated or had multiple fines. Listen, it's that charges, Lauren. DOJ is going to come and DOJ will be very upset and then we'll get no money. So, yeah, that's one of the important things.
Prison /prison photo. Oh, no, you have the thing in the tablet as well. You can parse. I forgot. You can do it in the tablet. I'm sorry, my brain.
So we can actually send him to jail from here as well.
Fucking yeah, there you go. Want my ID? Be yours. 7. No, it's 7. It's actually 7. Don't talk about that. That we'll talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll go through that tomorrow. In terms of the actual prison system, there's a lot more to see, and that's not for PD. There you go, he's gone. I would say that we won't talk about prison times. Prison times will be talked about tomorrow.
No one fighting me, boy. Ain't no one fighting me, boy.
Right, he's just murdered me. He's just murdered me. But yeah, we won't talk about fines and time, because that will be more tomorrow and general tomorrow. But yeah, that's it. Any final questions before we close out? I mean, so Tony, how would you say if someone's been sent off for warrants if someone hasn't saved it and updated it? Officers still got to do that. If they're not doing it, we need to deal with the officers that aren't doing it. PD is good to go. PD is great. PD is working as we expect. Can people donate? I mean, people could donate to the PD. That could be something we do. Hell, we could do a whole RP thing in game, right, where we do like funding drive. If, for example, we go see the mayor and the mayor says, hey, I'm not giving you that much, and we say, okay, we're out by a couple of million to buy whatever, then we could even do, we could build RP in game, right? Fox, I didn't see it. What is it? I think Haley's on about ARP and I'm worried.
Oh god.
Oh, thanks, Fox. So I can do what I always done and charge someone with every single thing I can prove that they did because other people call me an asshole. But that's a DT's job. Now, yes, but you don't have to give them every charge under the sun. You know, if they're evading, don't give them a red light charge as well as you know, dangerous driving or anything like that. If they're evading covers all that anyway.
Oh my.
Yeah, so PD body cam will be usable just as it is now, up until the point that that body cam's taken off you. Can show dock, right?
Oh.
So yeah, we do have a new prison system. We do have a dock menu, so we can click on people. We can see he's got 9 minutes left.
2.0.
We can release him from prison if we want to, like that. All that can be done. All that is logged, and if you start releasing people from prison, we want to.
Hey man, I heard you let me out. Thank you, man. I'm gonna go now. Here you go. You can have one of these. Hey.
Anyway, we're going.
I think that's French. I mean, it probably is. But...
You can have. Oh, you can have. You're a piece of shit. Oh, here you go. You can have one of. No, I'm not gonna give you that. You know what? You can have one of these. Go pick up your food, bitch. Bye. See you later.
I threw my food. What's he give me? Not food. Great, he's giving me a bed. Want it? He's giving me a bed.
Wow.
The wind direction. You'll find out, Tony. That's nothing to do with PD, so I'm not going to tell you. So yeah, we're all good. We are done. There you go, guys. Enjoy.
Alright, chat. We will be live for the syndicate has arrived. Well, we're kind of done streaming, but we'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna go do a couple things that I need to get done. It does look a lot cleaner. I really enjoy it. So, let me fix this. Okay, there we go. It does look really, really cool. I'm excited to see it, and yeah, it'll be great. 2.0 drops tomorrow, so we will definitely be there for the drop of 2.0. I think it's 3 p.m. my time, I believe, or 5 p.m. I think it's 3 p.m. my time. We're gonna have like a big civ or a big redline meeting for everyone to join, and then we'll also get into some more details about it. I don't know if we're allowed to stream that one or not. I'd have to look, but as soon as we get done with that, we definitely will be streaming for the launch of 2.0. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna try to get in early, and yeah. yeah, it's gonna be an interesting day, chat. It's gonna be a really interesting day tomorrow. I'm waiting to see 2.0. Of course, you know, we're gonna be on the Crim character tomorrow, figuring some stuff out. We may do a little PD Sunday, depending on how all this works out. I'm not really sure how it all is gonna work, but yeah. So let's I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna go do a couple things, and then we'll be back in a little bit. I worked really hard on the thumbnail for today's video, or today's stream. So yeah, definitely we'll be back in, let's say, 30 minutes. I will start streaming about 30 minutes. I'm gonna go do a couple things real quick. Get prepped for the stream. And yeah, we're gonna do great things. Let's see if anybody is actually live right now. There's people live. Okay. Alright. We're gonna go raid Macca, show him some love, tell him where you came from. I will see you guys here in a little bit. Love you, peace.